This is the fourth video in a series about confidence. If you haven't watched the other three yet, you can find them here on the channel and I will leave them in the description below for you. And I want to close this sequence of videos by talking about something very important when it comes to confidence. I want to show you how to find your standards and build your confidence code. Many people believe that confidence is a feeling. I feel confident. Sometimes that appears when everything's going well and disappears when situations become uncomfortable. But the truth is that confidence is not a feeling. It's a behavioral standard and it can be trained internally. It's not about how you feel in the moment, but about how you choose to act when situations change and what you decide will happen inside you when those moments appear. Let me bring up a few very common situations. Maybe there was a moment when you said yes, even though you actually wanted to say no, and you said yes just to avoid any tension or discomfort. Or maybe there was a moment when you were over-explaining something simple because you felt the need to prove your value or justify a decision. Or perhaps you have experienced a situation where you entered a cycle of trying to get clarity again and again, and you were asking again, checking again, trying to understand what the other person meant, trying to solve something that maybe didn't even need to be solved at that moment. All these reactions are very common, but they usually happen when someone does not yet have a clear internal standard for how they want to show up. And that's exactly what I want to teach you today. Because when you create these standards ahead of time, it completely changes how you move in conversations and relationships. You stop simply reacting and you start acting according to who you decided to be before. When confidence is built in a solid way, you begin to create what I call pre-decided standards. That means that before you even enter certain situations, you already know your values, your limits, and the way you want to behave. And this is very, very powerful. This changes everything because your actions are no longer driven by the tension of the moment or by other people's reactions. They are guided by your identity, by what you believe inside. Let me give you an example. A confident woman can develop what I like to call a confidence code. What is that? It's a set of small internal rules that guide her behavior. Things like, I don't chase inconsistency, I don't over-explain things that are already clear, I don't say yes just to avoid someone else's discomfort. These kind of internal decisions create a strong sense of stability because your identity starts guiding your behavior instead of your temporary emotions. And this is where the confidence shows up. You're not waiting for someone else's reaction in order to decide how you will respond. You already know how you want to conduct yourself in those situations. When you develop this, something very interesting begins to happen. Your confidence stops being something fragile that depends on each situation, each environment, or each person. It begins to become part of who you are and your decisions. You don't need to feel confident all the time in order to behave confidently. What you need is a clear standard for how you choose to show up. And then you practice acting according to that standard. That's why you need to build your confidence code. And this is the exact moment where confidence stops being just an idea or a desire and becomes something real. Real confidence happens when your behavior is aligned with your identity and your internal beliefs. So I wanted to invite you to take a moment and write your own confidence code. You can answer questions like, what kinds of actions make you feel confident? What kinds of words or attitudes make you feel aligned with yourself? Think about situations you recently experienced where you didn't feel confident. How would you like to act in that moment? Write those standards down. Read them as many times as necessary. Add more statements to your confidence code and begin to train yourself to act according to those pre-decided behaviors. It can feel a bit weird in the beginning, but it's just a matter of practicing. The behaviors that will not break your confidence, but instead will strengthen it every time you practice them. That's why it is important. And believe me, the way you behave is also the way the environment and other people begin to respond to you. When your actions come from clarity and identity, people can feel that and can feel your confidence as well. If this video helped you understand how to build a stronger and more stable kind of confidence, I invite you to also follow me on Instagram, where I share more reflections and insights. And I also created a free guide with 4 practical steps to help you develop more grounded and conscious confidence. The guide is still free, so if you'd like to receive it, send me a DM on Instagram and I'll share this with you. See you in the next video.